So in this masterclass, I'm going to sort of recreate kind of one of the tutorials that is in the course. Well, this one actually isn't in the course; it's a new one, but I'm going to do it in the same kind of style. And the example I'm going to use is a classic seminal deep house track by Larry Heard, or Mr. Fingers, called "Can You Feel It?" And certainly a kind of massive influence on me, early influence. And I just want to kind of look at it, look at the individual elements, and try to recreate it. And I'm using an Akai APC 40 and MPK 49, and they're going to kind of help me record the parts in, and then arrange some scenes and clips with Ableton, and then we're going to put those into the arrange view and get a kind of basic arrangement together. But the idea is to kind of be able to put the clips into Ableton, and then with the APC 40 kind of move away from the screen and then start jamming it in. We're going to maybe kind of assign some controllers to some effects, and just sort of have a bit of fun with it. So the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to have a little listen to the track, and I've basically put the audio file of the original track into this arrange page here, you can see. And we'll just have a little play of it, and then we'll talk about the elements that are involved. So here we go. Can you feel it? Okay, so that's sort of the first minute of the track. So let's have a look at the elements that are involved in this. Now, this track came out in 1986, and it was kind of, Larry was using some kind of quite early synths and drum machines and sequences to make this track. And I did a little bit of research because it's such a sort of famous track. People have sort of interviewed him about it and written about it, and there are pictures of his studio. But some of the things he was using were like a Roland TR-909 drum machine, a 707. One of his favorite synths was a Roland Juno 6. I think he had a Jupiter 6 as well. So based on that, I kind of looked at trying to find some similar kind of instruments in Ableton, or maybe some third-party ones as well, so I can try to recreate it. So let's just start off with the beat. The fundamental way that he created this beat was using a TR-909, and I'll just play you some of those sounds. There's in Ableton with Live 8, it comes with the some classic drum machine libraries, and one of those is the 909. So we have the kick drum here. There's some toms. There's a clap. Some sort of very classic sounds there. The one kind of different sound I use from the 909 is this, which is actually a 707 ride cymbal. So that's the vibe of the drum track. Then we've got the bass line, and for this I actually used a third party, a non-native Ableton device. And this is a free one. It's made by Tal Audio, and it's actually a recreation of the Juno 6. So we have this kind of sound. It's for the bass line. Let me just select the track. And a great feature of this early synth was the chorus. You can see if I take the two choruses off here, sounds great, but then we put this on and get a really lovely, warm kind of sound. And then there's a pad sound that we can hear. And for this, I used an Ableton device. I used the analog. I used two saw waves to create this, and with some kind of EQ, took a bit of the bottom end off as well, and widened it with some chorus and some delay. We have this kind of sound. Then there's this kind of riff that comes in. And then later on there's a kind of lead sound as well, which I'll get to in a minute. So these are the basic sort of sounds that he used. Now, what I did sort of in my process of working this out, this track, is to, in the arrange page, basically kind of split it up into sections. So just going back to this now, for example, if we start off here. And I can see at this point here something's going to change, so I'm going to split this track here now. So then another element comes in here, a clap drum, a clap sound. So you can see we kind of have these sections here, and then what I did is basically kind of named them. I put intro, then I put something like plus ride or whatever. And before I put this in, I warped it, and this means that everything's kind of locking to the tempo. And I then wanted to kind of take these sections and put them back into the session view. So you can do that very easily. You just click on the part and press the tab key, and then you can just drop it into a track here. So you can see I've done this already. So what I'm going to do now is just kind of use the APC 40 and the MPK 49 to actually kind of play in some of the tracks. I've got the record quantization on. It's set to 16th note quantization. So that means that as I'm playing, it's kind of looping and it's going to put everything in time for me. And I'm just going to sort of build up the track, and then we can talk about the make some different scenes and start thinking about the arrangement. So let's just play it now. Let's just take away the original track. I'm going to put the metronome on, and we're on the kick drum. We're going to put the kick drum down first. And you can see that I pressed this clip button here on the APC 40 just before the end of the bar, and that means that it actually kind of loops it round. I'm just going to try and show you this now so you can see where it's going in. We can take the metronome off now. The next thing to do is there's actually just underneath the kick drum there's these sort of toms going on. Okay, let's just open this up so I can see where we are. See, I just lost the one there. So you can see there the tom's gone in. And basically there's a really handy button on here on the APC 40, which is the overdub button, and that means that we can basically kind of audition sounds, and then when we're ready to record it in, we just press that and it will actually go into the clip. So I'm just auditioning that. Let's put that in now. Cool. Let's try clap now. Okay, so we've got our basic drum track now. Let's maybe think about the bass line. Okay, launch the clip here. Cool. So next thing to have a go at is the pad sound. There we go, we got that in now. Let's have a go at the riff that comes in. Then we can try a lead sound. But I think that lead sound is maybe something that once we've got this into the arrange page, maybe I can kind of improvise over the top. So we've got our pattern here. There's one kind of extra element I'd like to put in, which is a hi-hat, which is kind of like a 16th time hi-hat. Just find it. So I'm going to put that in, just to play it again. So we've got kind of a lot of the elements that make up this track now, and what we can do now is actually think about how the track is built up, how he built the arrangement. I also think we should mention, talk about the key of the track as well. This is obviously important. I've just been kind of playing stuff in, but I really needed to know what the key signature was, so I knew what notes to play. So let me just find a sound. I'll just take out this riff sound for the moment so I can play over the top. So what we look for when we're looking for the key signature is what we call the tonic note. It's the most common note in the track, the one that feels most comfortable. And once we find that, it takes a bit of kind of getting used to, a bit of training, a bit of practice. It's certainly something we talk a lot about in the first couple of weeks of the course. But then we can, once we've found that, we can determine the scale and the key, and we can listen to if it's in a sort of major key or a minor key, if it's got a kind of happy sound or a more of a melancholic sound. So I'm just going to play over the top of this, and you can. I'll show you how I hear the tonic note. So I'm just going to bring up a tool that I use, which is this virtual keyboard, because this allows me to actually show you the notes that I'm playing. So just play this again. The tonic here is an A, and it's got quite a kind of sad sound to it. So generally that means it's in a minor key, and these are the notes of A minor. That's actually kind of the easiest minor scale there is. All the notes, all the chords, melodies, riffs, they're all built on the on this A minor. So that's the key of the track. So let's look at the arrangement. We've pretty much got all the parts in here. I'm just going to reactivate this, and and I'm just going to drag these parts down here for the moment. So if we listen to the original now, just see what's going on with that. So here we've just got that kick, the kick drum. I think that there's a low toms going underneath and the bass line. So I'm going to take this original clip that I made here, and which is the drum kit and the bass line, and I'm just going to take out some of these parts and just leave the kick. If we click on this sort of headphone button here, we can actually listen to the sounds to make sure we're getting them right here. Just take it off solo. There we go. Okay, so we want to take out the ride cymbal, which are these, and we want to take out this and the clap. There we go. And if we just play this now, I'm actually going to click on this button here, which is the scene button, and this will basically play all the clips on that particular line, and in Ableton it's called a scene, so I'm just going to play it to you now. Okay, so that's that one. The next thing to look at is the next scene, so let's drag over this and then the bass line as well, and you can see here that the pad comes in as well, the pad and the ride. So I'm just going to drag over the ride, and as yet there's no clap sound, so I'm going to take that out. And also there's not this hi-hat sound as well. So we've then got our second scene. Just going to play it to you now. I wrote down here that the next thing to happen is the clap comes in, so I'm just dragging these up here again. Just kind of, I'm just holding down Alt to copy these parts over. Go. I'm going to take out this hi-hat again. There we go. So now we've got this. And then I'm just going to drag this one up here, so we've got 4 scenes. And there we go. Okay, and let's have another one where we take out the ride cymbal as well. And then we're going to have a go at actually recording that into the arrangement. Okay, so let's just take out this ride. Cool, so we've now got 5 scenes here, and if we go over to the APC 40, we've got kind of these clips represented, and we've also got the scenes represented as well. So what we can do is just press this kind of button over here on the scene. Maybe you can't see it, but I'm just going to press it now, and it will actually launch the scene and those associated clips. Cool, so it's kind of, we can actually start sort of jamming a little bit now. And what I'm now going to do is demonstrate putting those into the arrange page, maybe kind of playing around a little bit, and then we can work on some kind of, maybe a little bit of extra production with assigning some controllers to control some effects and things. So let's record this into the arrange page of Ableton. Here we go. Okay, so I'm just going to hit record, and here we go. Let's try that again. Here we go. Go back. Let's just go back to the start. So we've now got all those clips into the arrange page, and we can now start kind of looking at this in more of a linear way. We could maybe sort of add some automation. We can add some parts as well. I mentioned before I had this lead sound. We could maybe try sort of jamming over the top with a bit of that. Just let's try recording that in. So we've got that part in now. So let's try assigning some controllers. That's one thing it's great to do. It kind of, once you've got the arrangement in, it's going to make the track sound a bit more kind of organic, a bit more live sounding, and rather than just kind of being like kind of loops going from, cascading from one section to the next. So what I'm going to do is take this pad sound as an example, and I'm going to look for the filter cutoff, which is here. And I'm going to assign this controller knob, it's the first one on the APC 40, to control the cutoff. So what I'm going to do is just click on the MIDI button here, just click on the frequency cutoff, which is here, and just wiggle around that controller knob on the APC 40, then take the MIDI off. And if I now play that pad sound, you can see that that's controlling the cutoff frequency. So what we can do now is actually record that into the arrangement. I'm going to take the arming off all the tracks. We don't want to accidentally record over any MIDI data. I'm going to hit record, and let's start recording a bit of that in. See that automation has now been written in onto this track, and if we wanted to, we could actually kind of mess around with that. We could just change some of the values and kind of really tweak it to be exactly how we want. The next thing that's quite cool, kind of that I find once we've got our arrangement in here to make it sound a little bit more organic or live, is to add some kind of extra drums. You notice at the moment the kick drum is just kind of playing like 4 beats in the bar. But it might be nice to have some sort of little extra beats, some fills going into sections. So I'm going to do that now, and the technique I use is actually to record that onto a separate track. So I'm going to create a track here just under the drums, and I'm going to take the output here, and I call it the Larry kit. This is the one that I created, and then the track in, which is 909 Classic. And what that means is I haven't had to create another device. This MIDI track now, if I actually play the sounds, actually should be feeding into there. But anyway, well, let's just record over the top of that. I'm going to use the overdub button for that. And we've sort of got some extra kicks and things in there. Finally, maybe we could try one other thing with these drums. We could actually try some kind of reverb send. So what I'm going to do is within this drum rack, we can actually put some sends and returns, some effect sends and returns. So I'm just going to drag a reverb into this return section here. And just going to click on that and set the wet level to 100%. There we go. And maybe we can add this to the clap sound. So if I just play that now. Let's make that a bit bigger. Just increase the decay time. So it's going to send B. So I'm going to assign this next controller knob to send B. So let's just click on that. There we go. And you can see that that's controlling that now. So if I now play this track, can do the same thing. We can write in that automation data. So I'm going to do that now. So basically, you can see how much fun you can have building up the arrangement. This is kind of quite rough, but you know, you can really kind of spend some time building up your scenes and your clips, and you know, kind of giving yourself some, you know, lots of kind of alternative takes and tracks, things coming in and out. So you can actually step away from the screen and you can work on the APC-40. And then afterwards, in a similar way, you could do a DJ mix. You could kind of record something in, and then you can kind of go in and you can actually tweak your crossfades and your effects, and kind of really get in depth with it. So, okay, so that's basically a breakdown of this track. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please, if you have any questions, you come up to me afterwards or ask me now. I'm quite happy to answer them. But I hope you enjoyed it, and please check out all the courses at Point Blank. Thank you very much.
At Point Blank Online, you've got two methods of interaction with your tutor. Firstly, you've got the weekly online masterclass, which is in real time. And then also we've got feedback on your assignments, and that's known as DVR. So the online masterclass is a 1-hour session you get with your tutor every week. You can ask questions about the lesson content and get instant feedback, and also demonstrations on the fly from their computer desktop with our streaming technology. DVR stands for Direct Video Response, and the concept is really simple. You upload your Ableton, Logic or Cubase project file to your tutor, he downloads it and then pushes record on the screen capturing software and evaluates your work, so basically giving you one-to-one feedback. You see all of the mouse movements and any parameter changes made by your tutor. It's kind of like sitting in the studio over their shoulder watching what they're doing whilst they work. We've found the DVR process has truly revolutionized the way that we teach online, and the results speak for themselves. Book your place on the course now by visiting pointblankonline.net.